everybody, namaskar. Today I want to talk about living a God-centered life. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but I've spoken about this lady called Anandama, my ma. I think I'm, I think I'm messing it up. Anandamai Ma, that's it, Anandamai Ma. She was born enlightened, okay? Obviously, there have been many enlightened beings in this world. Weirdly enough, a lot from India. We've had loads of gurus, fakirs, people like Anandamai Ma, that have come and they have so much compassion and love and they have this energy. I would really suggest watching a documentary by her. If you need me to, let me just tag. I'm just gonna join the chat myself and then I'm gonna tag her in so that you know what I'm talking about. Passion and love, and they have this energy. I would really suggest. And then my ma. Okay, so I have pinned I've pinned who she is. Okay, so yeah, go and watch her because she shows you what it feels like to have a connection with the divine at all times. She was always connected to the divine, and you could just see it, like the way that people talk about her. This is why I really would recommend watching a documentary about her, especially for those people who don't believe certain things are possible, right? Because we believe what we believe is possible is based upon what we see, and a lot of people don't research or come across certain things like this. Thankfully, another Myanmar was recommended to me, and I had the privilege of witnessing people talk about her, not in real life but online. And not just her, to be honest. I kind of got into this thing where I loved learning about fakirs and saints and all of the above, because they show us what is possible for humans. I didn't even know you could have things like supernatural powers, like siddhis, for example, which they speak about a lot in Sikhism, and I believe in Hinduism as well. But I just didn't know because I used to follow, Western spirituality and like just westernized kind of information and books that were mainstream. But the more I got into learning about Eastern spirituality, the more, life kind of just opened up more to me. And watching people like being interviewed and learning about people's lives that have lived, that have supernatural powers. I made a short, okay, on YouTube talking about the power of listening, because the power of listening, inner listening, which is also something that I wanted to speak about, it can open you up to having supernatural powers, right? Siddhis, they talk about siddhis and riddhis, okay? But siddhis are supernatural powers. So let me go through which ones there are. Can you tell me all? And you can, if you don't believe me, if you like, someone commented on my short, oh my god, what's wrong with you? Why would you even believe this? You should you need to kind of cap your imagination as an adult. And which is fair enough. Thank you. Which is fair enough, because when you haven't been exposed to this kind of information and these kind of people and this kind of knowledge, you think it's crazy. You think I'm crazy when I say you can have superpowers, that you are not just limited in this human body, that you can have, there is so much more accessible to you, but you just don't know how, right? But I'm going to tell you. Obviously, I haven't gone to that stage, but I'm learning about it. And the thing is, as soon as you understand that that is a possibility, what's to say that you can't get there? I'm talking about superpowers, how human beings can have superpowers called siddhis, which I learned through Eastern spirituality, which you don't really hear about in the West. You think it's impossible. There are going to be many of you who are going to be like, oh my god, what is she talking about? She's crazy. She's lost her head. But there may be a few of you who happen to have a very open mind. And that is incredibly important in this life, okay? We live in an infinite universe, lest we forget that. anything is possible. Literally anything is possible. And you might come and then you'll be like, oh my god, is this possible? But is this possible? But siddhis don't use superpowers, just super consciousness. Yeah, I mean, they're considered superpowers, right? Like that's how people kind of refer to them, as superpowers. But yeah, it's not it shouldn't be such like out of world thing, you know. Time bending. So let me go through the different types of siddhis that exist. Let me just open a new chat on ChatGPT. Can you that siddhis that exist? Because what happens is, okay, I don't know in depth. They don't apply walk through walls. Let me see. Okay. So siddhis are spiritual powers or extraordinary abilities said to arise from deep meditation, yogic practices, or spiritual realization. The word siddhi in Sanskrit means perfection, attainment, or accomplishment. You know, 8 siddhis from Hanuman. Oh, love that. Different texts describe them slightly differently, but the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, various Upanishads, and Tantric occult traditions categorize them into major Mahasiddhis or minor Anusiddhis or Vibhutis. So there are 8 classical Mahasiddhis. So anima, which is the ability to become very small. You're still working on getting more sun. Love that. Good. Is it sunny? It's not sunny for me today. Honestly, we are complicated plants, right? Just not complicated, complex plants, and we definitely need sunshine to keep us happy. Um, but I'm in my stage of like 5 days before ovulation, which means I have loads of energy. So it's okay. If there's not enough sun, it's cool. We're good. You know, I'm getting through it. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So yeah, we're talking about siddhis, which are spiritual powers that you can get through deep meditation, because we have loads of energy, like huge amounts of energy in us that is lying dormant within us, that can be activated through different things. It can be, you know, I mean, for example, kundalini energy, right? You guys have probably heard about kundalini energy, and you know, it can be, some people say that it can be activated by just being, for example, I guess, you know, being in a state, in a deep state of awareness at all times, or consciously trying to activate through breathing exercises, etc. So this is do I preach Hindu religion here? No, not really. I preach everything. It's not just Hinduism. But I would say mostly Eastern. I like Eastern theology and spirituality. So more of an Eastern thing to it. I just kind of go with what I'm learning at the moment, what interests me in. At the moment, it's that. Are you from India? I am Indian. My name is Priya, but I live in England. Hence the accent. It's not fake. I get that so often. But yeah, okay. So we were talking about siddhis, okay? Mahima, which is the ability to expand infinitely. Garima, the ability to become infinitely heavy, immovable. Lagima, love from Pakistan too. Welcome. I don't know how to say welcome in Urdu. I can say in Punjabi, G-I-N-O. You probably understand. Prapti, which is the ability to reach or acquire anything anywhere instantly, which includes teleportation, clairvoyance. Prakyama, which is the ability to fulfill any desire, enter any realm, or be present anywhere. Or Istiva, I like that word. Lordship over creation, mastery over say something in Punjabi. Punjabi ਚ ਬੋਲੋ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਵਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਲਾਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਐਡ ਕਰੋ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਜੇ 100 ਮੇਰੇ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ oh look, yeah, another witch. Yes, another witch. I don't know if you know the history of witches, but I think that you do well to look into it. A witch is just a woman who happens to be wise and connected to nature and uses things like herbs and the natural cycles of life and other things to create. And women were let's say, like exterminated, because simply for being wise and being independent. Um, yeah, because Christianity came. Because what happened was, in the olden times, the women, I'm assuming they used to be rich because they, for example, let's say their husband died, they got property or something, then they would have the ability to live alone, and no one liked a wise, rich, wealthy woman. In fact, the podcast that I was listening to, wise, okay, we believe you. You don't have to believe me. It's okay if you don't believe I'm wise. It's perfectly fine. I'm not. Priya, tum Punjabi ho. I mistook you for a South Indian girl. Yeah, I don't know why people. No, मैं Punjabi हाँ. Punjabi मुटियार. um, but yeah, it was actually women, wealthy, wise women, who supported the upcoming of Christianity. Without the women, there would be no Christianity. They supported the churches because the men, for some reason, were poor. Like the Christians and whatnot. Watch the podcast. It's a Layla Martin podcast. Let me know if someone wants to watch it, and you can watch it. It was amazing. I feel like I need to send it to Greg because I feel like Greg will enjoy it. I got a bit on my hand. Sorry, it's just so itchy. It's like an ant or something. But yeah, the point is, I really love your singer Diljit. Love that. I love him too. Diljit Dosanjh. Let me tell you something about him. He has siddhis, okay? He has riddhis and siddhis because he is someone who lives a God-centered life. I was watching this short that came up about him, and this lady who used to be on set with him, she said that he used to be just in his own world. He would be reciting Part, which is you know text from the Sri Guru Granth Sahib from Sikhism. So yeah, he would just be reciting it all the time. He would not be engaging in just like shallow conversation or anything like that. He would be in this world but not of it. Would you like to watch a live event I produce at the place where I work about the history, which is, oh my god, yes. Oh, I would love to watch that, Greg. Send it through. That sounds so interesting. That is so cool. Okay, didn't he sell his soul for the industry? I don't know, maybe, but apparently he's like super into Sikhism and like his religion and stuff. So I don't know, but honestly, I just heard the part where he's always kind of in his own world in that sense and always connected to God. That just feel like when I heard that was so inspiring to me, whether it is true or not, because that's something that I aspire to be. I aspire to be to that at that level, where I can just always be connected to God and be in my own inner world and connected to myself. I did a meditation today, and every time I do the meditation, it's a guided meditation by Sam Harris. Every time I do that, I just come back to myself. I come back home and I realize, whoa, how good it feels to be back home in my body, in my being, in the sense of I amness, compared to like being out there or being in my thoughts or something. Thank you, Greg. I'm excited to watch it. Yeah, he had a great reputation of being a religious person. Then when he made that song this year, he got quite a lot of hate. It's one of those things, being I guess a musician, like from what I've seen from movies or something like that, is because it's confusing for them, I guess, because they want to create music, and they have to create music that people like, and there's a lot of pressure. They don't always get their own way. I think it's really easy to judge someone. Of course it is. We sit here and we can look at Diljit and be like, oh my god, Diljit, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, blah 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 blah. But think about how many millions of people have opinions about what he should be doing. I would get annoyed. Like, I would not want that, to some extent you want to have your own autonomy. But look, it's easy to judge people, especially celebrities and famous people, but we have no idea what's happening with them, right? So let them do their own thing, let them live their own lives, mind your own business. That's what I always think. That's where happiness lies. I think that's one of the things that Byron Katie talks about in her book, no, not her book, but in her work called The Work, she says one of the most important things is minding your own business. Um, why are you really loving my accent? I don't know. It's fabulous. Which is be connected to the devil, you mean? No, flapjabba. No, no, no. Look, I get that you think, you know why you think that? You think that because of the common perception that has been given of yeah, the common misconception of, women and witches in movies, right? Because all the movies you see, the witches are evil, they're doing something bad, but that is not always the case. These things have been indoctrinating you, okay? They warp the way you see certain things. So some things that are presented as bad and evil are not always bad. For example, a Ouija board. And a Ouija board isn't inherently bad. You don't only come across bad spirits. You know, there's an array of different experiences you can have. It's like with anything. Social media, right? Some people can say it's really, really bad. You might see a movie where social media is controlling people or doing this or doing that. What are you going to think? Are you going to think that, oh no, social media is just all bad? No, right? You're going to look into the history, you're going to research. It's important. Yeah, which is with free thinking women who were in touch with nature and didn't conform to Christian ideals. What you have to understand is that Christianity has had a very, very deep impact on the world and the things that we deem normal. So things like witches and purity culture and women and the whole story of like women being impure and stuff like that, like naturally impure and how they have to act and sexuality, all of these things have been we don't realize it, how deep it's systemic, how deep we've been indoctrinated by Christianity and its ideals, not just England but the whole world. Yeah, I tried to say that. Stay in your own lane, focus on yourself rather than others. I just mentioned it because you're on the topic of him long. Yeah, no, sorry, I wasn't coming at you. I feels like I apologize. I wasn't, of course, no. It wasn't just intended at you. It was just in general, lots of witches were also men. Exactly. Ma'am, from don't mind. England? Is that what I guess you're asking where Congratulations, you just learned another fan to subscribe to. Thank you. Welcome. Guys, I've been working on creating a Discord, by the way. I was literally just creating a logo for it. I have the name. It's Aurora. Aurora. Should probably get something I can pronounce easily. Aurora. Aurora. Like an Aurora Borealis? I can't pronounce things. I don't know why I'm being so weird today. Priya, why are we only talking about witches here? Aren't we supposed to talk about something good or fun, perhaps? Connell, no. I like to talk about things that matter. I'm not really after just things that are fun or good to talk about. I like to discuss things that are important, and something like this is important, right? Because the way that for example, the history of women is related to witches, right? So your ancestors who used to be women, and I'm sure you have women in your life, sisters, your mom, your cousins, your aunties, things like that, right? You're in relationship to them. So there's something called a witch wound, okay, which is in our DNA as women. So we can feel the pain subconsciously of all the women before us, and that affects us and how we are now. And I think it's important to understand that. I think it's important to understand the history of women and what women have been through, just as I think it's as important to understand what men have been through and the topics that affect men. Because I think when we can understand each other better, it makes life easier. And it's not just about man and woman, because the soul has no gender, okay? It's not about that. It's about connecting to someone, you see? So it's not always about fun. I would say sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not really sorry. Respectfully, because I like talking about what I like talking about. So Bless you, Scorpio Sage. Thank you. You speak the truth. I try. I love you. I love you too. Okay, thank you. I really want to join your Discord. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, I was getting a little bit too excited. Talk about flat Earth. Okay, flat Earth. So flat Earth, I think is flat Earth. It's interesting, okay, because I believe that okay, look, let me get the word up, okay? There's a word that I wanted to get up because that describes life. The way that I see life is through almost assimilation. It is, yeah, assimilation. So there's a word for it, okay? Let me just give me a second. We live in a simulation, this is it. Okay. The simulation works by procedural generation. If you don't follow me on Instagram, do follow me, Scorpio Sage 8, okay? Because I post shorts and stuff on there. So if you like what I'm talking about, there's more on there. But yeah, people who play video games would be aware of this. So procedural generation is, you know, when let's say you have a character. So I used to love playing what's it called? Sonic the Hedgehog, okay? So Sonic, my character, I'm playing, right? And Sonic is walking through things and he's going, you know, then life is being formed like that. It's kind of related to the observer effect where, you know, consciousness becomes matter rather than just waves of potential through observation. So, for example, right now, it's kind of, it can be difficult to get your head around, but just try to go with me on this, okay? Obviously, I can see what's behind me right now through the camera, right? But let's say I wasn't on the phone right now, or let's say I'm looking this way, and I can't see what's over this side, right? Technically, what's over here doesn't even exist. It's just waves of potential. It is only when I look at it that it becomes matter. Does that make sense? It's the double slit experiment. It's a quantum physics concept that you can look into. And the thing is, we should go to quantum physics to look at the reality of life. Because it's science. Everybody loves science, right? But quantum physics and spirituality go hand in hand. Wow, you're amazing. Thank you. Jesus Christ died for our sins. We no longer need to be bound to sin. Okay, thank you. How can you join my Discord? Okay, you can, okay, you know what, let me put my, I haven't done anything with the Discord yet, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the link for my Discord. I'm just setting it up, guys, okay? But I'm excited, okay. Copy. My Discord, woo! Making things happen. It's, okay. Boom. Okay, there you go. Should be able to. Let me know if you're in. By the way, there's literally nothing on there yet. I haven't even like started the welcome thing. I've never used Discord to create anything. So bear with me. I'm gonna get my brother to teach me. He loves Discord. I didn't understand your explanation of connection of witches with women, but yeah, I also love women. I care. Okay, so yeah. If you look at in the past, women, I mean, even not even just bound to the witch hunts, you could say, you know, the elimination of so-called witches. But what were witches? Witches were tended to be women, and I guess sometimes men as well, right? Who were connected to nature, who didn't adhere to Christian ideals, right? These were women who were you know, lived independently. They probably were you know, I guess they had their own money. If they're living independently, they don't need a man. They don't need religion. They weren't adhering to Christianity, right? So the Christian church was like, oh my God, we can't have this. These people need to be with us. You're either with us or you're against us. So I know, why don't we do this? Why don't we just annihilate these women? Why don't we just get people, like people started reporting women for being witches. And then I don't know if they got maybe money for it. Maybe they did, you know. So yeah, if you didn't like a woman, you could just say, oh my God, she's a witch, and then they would take her. And if I remember correctly, they would take her, they would tie her up, bound her up, and then throw her into like water, and then they would see if she drowns, then she wasn't a witch. Like if she floats to the bottom, she wasn't a witch, but she's dead anyway because she's drowning. But then if she floats, she is a witch, so you kill her. So either way, you're dead. Interesting. Um, Tarot cards incoming. I love tarot cards. What time am I coming? It's not copying. Oh, it's not copying. Shall I send it again? Let me try. I am godly has entered the building. Okay. But yeah, so, knowing the history, I think, of women. I mean, for example, myself, it came to my attention that in history there wasn't much talk about women. We haven't really created anything great. We haven't really contributed anything great. History was mostly about men and what they did and stuff like that. Okay. Boom. Okay. So yeah, which was confusing because it feels as a woman, this is the body that I'm in. What topic am I talking about? I mean, it kind of went from having a God-centric life to Matthew Hopkins. A lot of it was based on financial gains, and many women who didn't identify as witches were executed. Wow. See, there we go. Money. For money, you just slaughter loads of women. So these things are actually in your DNA. As women, you feel the pain of all the women before you. Therefore, it is important to kind of understand that. I think just in general, not because I'm saying women are more important than men. Obviously, I'm not saying that. Everybody has the same worth, right? The same value. We are all I'm godly. Funny. Oh, you changed from I am godly to I'm godly danger. I love it. Wait, okay, I'm godly danger. Wait, is this Dex? Has Dex become... Let me see. Wait. Are you the same person? I don't know. Confused. But yeah, living a God-centric life, Because, like I said, how I was speaking about Diljit Dosanjh and how he... To my attention, what came was that he just remembered God at all times. At all times. It means you're always home. And then I spoke about my meditation and how it felt really good to be home again. I'm this admirer of yours. Are you just changed your name? Interesting. Let me see, actually. Okay, yeah, you are. You changed your name. Okay, I just confirmed it. Thank you. But yeah, coming home to yourself and like being away from your thoughts. Like, for example, I was speaking to Greg today, and Greg said something about we were discussing the true name. Let me send you my ID. Okay. I'm godly. You should join my Discord. But yeah, Greg was, we were speaking about the true name and Osho and how the sense of doership and how, when we are being of service to people, that it should come naturally and we don't need to sit there and think about it. I made this short that said, the things that you do for other people, forget. The things that other people do for you, never forget, okay? So always be grateful, because if I'm always being grateful for what someone has done for me and I never forget it, then I'm always feeling grateful. Imagine going through life, never forgetting one thing that anyone has ever done for you. Obviously, I know that it may be a little bit like, a bit of a push, but yeah, of course, why not? Anything is possible. When you see someone, you're like, oh, whoa, this person, they did this for me, or they did this for me, or they helped me when I needed help, or this or this or that. And think about how good that makes you feel, and then think about how good that makes them feel. And then you're just in a constant state of gratitude because you don't believe that you are entitled, right? Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Because entitlement is like, yeah, they did that, so what? So what? I deserve it. I'm great. And the thing is, it was confusing for me. Like, you know, this sense of like having self-value but not being in your ego. Does that make sense? Because my mom would say something like early, like before I came onto this kind of path, you know, she would say, no, you know, like um everyone's better than me, I'm the worst, or something like that. And I would look at her like, why do you have no self-esteem, woman? You know, like, what's wrong with you? Um, but it was from a place of relinquishing the ego. Does that make sense? It sounds um the opposite of what we're told to do. Of course, we are told to value ourselves, but then it's who you're valuing. Am I valuing Priya, the ego, the story, or am I valuing the essence of my being, the consciousness? It's hard to, it's a hard thing to do because the ego loves to think, oh, that's a nice thing I did. You have to work hard to catch those thoughts. Yes, exactly. You know, it's a thing, you know, when we give to homeless people or someone who needs help, we like, you look at them and you're like, I want you to say thank you. I want you to be grateful for this. It happens to all of us, I'll admit. You know, I used to have, you know, of course you think like that. You've like, oh, rude, you didn't say thank you. I just got you this thing, you know. I want you to be super grateful. Um, and that's wanting something in return. We have to give freely whenever we give, you know. We have to, and Osho says, give in a way, give in a way where you feel grateful for the person allowing you to give to them, you know, because giving to someone who's beneath you, for example, someone who doesn't have as much as you, is social work. It's not giving. But giving in a sense of, you know, where you're like, thank you so much for allowing me to even give to you. Like, how lucky are we that we are even able, like, we have people in life that we are able to serve. Like right now, I'm so lucky that I have people here, you know, that I'm able to help in any way that I can. You're allowing me to do that. Because, you know, my mom always had a issue receiving, okay? Like gifts and stuff. And I was like, Mom, but you being present to receive something from someone, allowing someone to help you, is you doing them a favor. They get to do seva, you know, they get to be acting in a selfless way for you. And that's an amazing thing. It's not just like, oh, I'm a bad person, I just take. Of course, both are important, right? Well, I was speaking about channels the other day, about how your channel should be open. Energy wants to flow in and energy wants to flow out. Right? It's not just give, or just take. It's both. Give, take. Both are divine. Both are sacred. When you give, you receive something, right? You receive joy. And when you take, you give something. You allow someone to serve you. I think she teaches how to find real. Priya, what subjects do you teach at your school? You're a teacher by profession, if I'm not wrong. I am not a teacher, no. I don't teach in a school. No, I'd like to, even though I have like, I guess this is teaching, you know, I'm like teaching things that I'm aware of, that God allows me to teach, I guess. But yeah, not in a school. Not in a school. I think she teaches how to find real love. Well, you already have real love. Real love just exists within you. I guess I'm just helping you find your way back to that, you know? What do I do in my free time? Okay, that's a good question. What do I do in my free time? I go to the Gurdwara a lot. I spend time with my family. I cook. I like to read. I work on like content creation. So I also have TikTok that I create content for. Meditation. I like watching podcasts. Just learning, any type of learning, to be honest. Going for walks. I like playing badminton. Num 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 num. Yeah, that's about it. What about you? She's here to share her experience and show us some paths. Yeah, exactly. I try. I mean, what aligns, right? There are some. The thing is, I did this coaching course, and it was teaching. It was like a free 5-day course on how to become a coach, and I thought, you know, why not? Let me educate myself. Hi, Arjun, and thank you, the bike riders. I appreciate you. But yeah, it was teaching me how to like, yeah, so I was like, let me educate myself. And then they were saying, when you're a coach or a teacher or something, you don't need to be really, like, let's say there's a mountain. You don't need to be at the top of the mountain, okay? You can just be one step ahead of someone who's one step behind you, and you can teach them. Does that make sense? So, because I think I used to put pressure on myself that I need to know everything and everything, and oh my God, I don't know enough, I don't know enough. But it's, when will we ever really know enough? And maybe knowing enough is knowing that you don't, like, what you know is enough. Like, everything is already within you. You just need to quieten down. I am Indian, yes. You know, the wisdom exists within you. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Um, you just say something, how to speak English fluently, like I don't get that. You want me to teach you? I live in England. This is why. This is why. I don't. If I was living in India, maybe I wouldn't speak so fluently. I don't know. Did you decide to become a coach after reading that book that we've been speaking about? I can't say the title, but you know the book I'm talking about. I didn't, Greg. No. So I decided to become a coach. So during COVID, I was going through a really rough time in my life. I was going through a lot of suffering, depression, suicidal ideation, anxiety, low self-esteem, not understanding what life was, no connection to myself or God. Um, by and I, then that's when you could say my spiritual awakening happened. That it was a series of things. It was a series of things that I was watching. You see how important the things that you watch, the things that you expose yourself to are, like how deeply they affect you. Because I exposed myself to, I'm a life coach. I work as a life coach, Tony. But yeah, the things that I was exposing myself to were helping me. So I watched, it was a series of things. So I watched this documentary on the secrets of the US. Okay, so how, the US government is, like, secrets behind that. I guess you could say conspiracy, but conspiracy is just a word the CIA coined for anything other than, a theory other than mainstream theory that they have pushed. So yeah, it was about that. And I was like, okay, I was watching it, there were many episodes, and I was like, okay, this is awful, I need to change the world, I need to help, this can't be done, like I need to do something. Then eventually I realized that I'm not able to do anything. I can't do anything myself. I can't go and change how the United States is run. Okay, I can't change the world order, the new world order, or any of these things that have been existing for a long time. The only thing I can do is change myself. And then I had this deep realization that love was the way. And then I ended up coming across this documentary about Inner Earth, and I believed it. I knew that it was true. I knew that there was more to life than what I thought. And then I just went down this loophole. I came across this platform called Gaia. I don't know if you guys have heard of Gaia. So GAIA. It has loads of different. Let me just get it up. Let me just read it to you, okay? So I can really explain to you. But it really helped me. But I think recently, I'm not sure if it's controlled by mainstream people now as well. But it has loads of documentaries, meditations, things like that. Okay, let me just go on it. Let me just, can I twist the camera? Okay, I'm gonna twist the camera, okay? So look, interviews with extra dimension, aliens, divine science. Oops, I don't watch it anymore. So beyond belief, he used to have like loads of cool people, past lives, soul groups, remembering past lives. It has loads of things from Joe Dispenza, the Akashic records, chakras, meditation. I think you guys, if you're interested in the things I talk about, you would really like it. Oh my God, the Jinkies. I love the Jinkies. But yeah, you can get like a free like a trial, and you can go through it. But yeah, personal change, definitely personal change. And I think sometimes a deep level of suffering, because you're only when you're suffering can you make change, right? Or when you're like, I guess everything seems good outside of you, that you should be happy, you have money, you have success, you have achievements, you have family, and you're still not happy, then you may think, oh, why am I not happy? But yeah, these two things usually lead you down this path. What about you, Greg? How did it start for you? I have one personal question. Oh, Scorpio Sage. No, it's not my name. My name is Priya. A model. Oh my god. I'm not modeling. I am not married. No, I don't believe in marriage. Really. Let me just take a break. But yeah, personal suffering. I think so anybody who may be in this chat who may be going through something, you know, people are always sometimes going through things. Anybody who's going through deep levels of pain or something like that, just know that that is your making. That is why now sometimes when people come to me, for example, someone in the chat yesterday, the day before, said, oh, I just broke up with my girlfriend, I'm really struggling. And I say congratulations, because I don't like to see it in the way that everybody else likes to see it, you know, like, oh my god, that's so bad. I obviously I did empathize a little bit. You know, I'm human, but I want people to see that it's not the end of the world. That yes, it seems difficult now, but it's actually your making. You know, am I spiritual guru? I do not identify as that. No, I don't. I'm just a human. Like, I'm just consciousness expressing itself. So yeah, if you're going through something, if you know, life seems unfair, confusing, you seem lost, you don't see anything great in it, just know that it's not the only way, that it's temporary, right? This idea of things being impermanent, take it, okay? Take it and go with it. If you remember anything, remember that. Nothing is permanent, okay? And this concept helps with everything. It helps with attachment, right? Because we won't get attached to things, not to things, not to experiences, not to people, you know, not to states of being, because we understand that nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. Everything is just going and flowing, right? Like a river isn't permanent. A river is different every single time you put your foot in it. I put my foot in it, okay, cool, take it out, and a second later it's a different river, right? Because life is always it's always moving. So when life is always moving, life is always changing, when you are feeling low, just know that it's not always going to be the same way. How your life looks outside of you, how people are treating you, it's not always going to be the same way. It'll change. But sometimes it's important for you to go through certain things. I am incredibly happy and grateful for all I went through, even though it was painful, okay? It was the depths of despair. But now I am able to help people and empathize with people and understand people more who've been through that. You know, even things like addictions. I could sit here and be like, oh, you know, I'm like, I've always been this way. I've always been a meditator, or like this, or like this, or like a good person, or I don't know, whatever, you know, whatever sometimes someone may assume of someone who is like a teacher, or like a spiritual guru, or something, or whatever it is, okay, like that. You think that they haven't been through things, but it's actually usually those people who've been through the most. There's a guru that I always talk about, Guru Pashupati. And I love this man so much. He's just amazing. He's helped me a lot in my personal life. And he said something. He said, you know, he used to be an addict. He used to be addicted to alcohol. He used to be addicted to smoking cigarettes. He used to be like this. But he had loads of, you know, he had a really high guru that's like a devta, which was essentially like a god, guiding him through his life. So if he had that when he was really young and he had connection with the divine, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Good. Yep, back again. Likewise. No, I'm on YouTube live. Yeah. See you. So now, yeah, Guru Pashupati's next song. Oh my god, you follow him too? Isn't he just amazing? For me, but yeah, so he said something like, you know, he was telling me, well, not me, I guess he's speaking to me when I'm watching a video, that, you know, he went through so many different things and addictions and problems, and it wasn't a straight path. And that's what makes him so good at what he does, because it wasn't a straight path. This is too ridiculous. Okay. For me, it was the same as many people, from deep trauma, and then wanting to find something behind the suffering. I found my peace in meditation and Buddhist teachings. I love that for you. Now I have the desire to connect with other people who understand the significance of trauma and the spiritual path. Wow. Love that. It literally exactly how I got into mine. You know, you become aware of things and you realize, okay, there is a different path available to me. It doesn't have to be justice. This doesn't have to be my truth, you know, just pain and suffering. Because when you change, everything changes. The world outside of you changes because the world is an extension of you. I created a post today on YouTube, you know, this morning, about how life is an extension of you. Things are not separate from you. If things are going badly outside of you, look within yourself. Look within yourself. Look within yourself. Look within yourself. Take responsibility. Take accountability. And of course, show compassion to yourself. Who's Pashupati? Pashupati is a guru that, if you like gurus, if that's your type of thing, I would check him out. He's freaking amazing. He speaks English, which is wonderful because it means I can understand him fluently. Sometimes it can be, I want to, you know, English is probably something that I'm most comfortable with. It's probably something I speak the most. But yeah, so that helped me when I was learning, because I wanted to find a guru that I could relate to who had Eastern spiritual information, and he's that. God is the only reason I'm breathing today. Same goes for every single one of you. But unfortunately, you reject him. But how can you still change your mind? Of course, I agree with you. God is the only reason for anything. God is all there is, right? Remembering God is the marker of true success, I believe. Anyway, do I know Anuradha Acharya? I do not. Is he in relation to Guru Pashupati? Very nice voice. Thank you. Did you watch Guru Pashupati New Ideas called Don't Tell Anyone? No, I haven't. Do you want to tell me about it? Is it about don't tell anybody good things? Like, you know, recently my mom was telling me about how I shouldn't speak about my bhakti or my meditation to people. But it's this thing, I love to share. I love to learn things and share. And if something's working for me, I want to like quickly share it with everybody else so that they can know and they can go on that path as well if they feel like they want to, if it aligns with them. But apparently one shouldn't share that. You shouldn't share your spiritual practices with people. So I'm going to try to share them in a way that I'm not sharing too much. But yeah, he says something like that. He didn't say that, but he said, you know, don't tell people good things, like good news, but share bad news. Because when we share something, it loses energy, right? When we talk about something, it loses energy. So if I talk about something negative, like I'm feeling low, I'm feeling angry, I'm letting it out, so then it disperses, so it becomes less powerful. But if I share something good, that like a plan, you know how they say don't tell your plans to people, or don't show your achievements or privacy. Well, I think that's what he was referring to. But tell me about his video. You are my Bangaram. What's a Bangaram? Are there many ways to meditate? Like, what's the most simple form of meditation? Yes, there are many ways to meditate. A simple form of meditation, sit with your eyes closed and just be quiet. That's it. Look for Anuradha Acharya. Okay, let me write that down and I will look for that individual. Anuradha. Thank you for sharing, by the way. I appreciate it. I love finding new people. Tony Stark, comment, please. Does she know Osho? Of course, I love Osho. Hi, Guru Kamlesh. Brother, Bangara means teacher. Oh, okay, nice. What is my mother native language? It is Punjabi. The true name talks about not talking about spiritual experiences too, but I really want to. It's something beautiful that needs to be discussed, especially meditative experiences. Yes, Greg. Honestly, today when we were talking, I really wanted to tell you about, like, because we were talking about listening, and I wanted to talk about the power of mantras, and then I was like, oh God, my mom told me not to speak about things, but I wanted to speak about it, you know, because I realized. So I went through What if you don't get quietness? What do you mean? What if you don't get quietness? Okay, I'll speak about it. I guess I can speak about it to some extent, but the power of mantras, okay? What was the last dream you got? Oh, that's such a cool question. I love that you asked that. Oh, okay. I had a dream that I was gonna be late for work, that I woke up late, and then I had a dream about someone that I had spoken to. And I don't want to go too much into it. They might be watching. So I don't know. Yeah. But what was the last dream you had? Sorry, I thought you were Telugu woman. Bangaram means gold. Oh, cute. I love that. Hey, I'm more than happy to learn different words from different languages. I love it. I experience something unnatural. Have I experienced something unnatural? She's oh my god. It's not I'm godly. It's not I'm godly. Are you Indian? Yes. Yes, you mentioned exactly what you've told when you share, you're releasing your energy into the world. Okay, yes. Love that. Okay. Yeah, I really liked that video. But yeah, okay, Greg. The speaking thing, okay? The listening thing. God. Okay, wait. Okay. Mantras, okay? Okay. The importance of mantras. Okay, because something they speak about in Sikhism, thank you. Something they speak about in Sikhism is they mention Shabad, Surat. Okay, Shabad is the word, Surat is awareness. So they say, they pray that God gives them the male, the connection, the union of the spoken word and awareness. So it is about, God, please help us to actually hear what we say. So sometimes when we are speaking, you know, when you ask someone, like, are you hearing yourself right now? Are you actually listening, or are you just talking and talking? And this is sometimes what happens. So verbally, we'll be talking, but not aware of what we're saying. And then if we go further back, it's about, thinking without listening to our thoughts, without being present with them. So when they want this, Shabad Surat Male is the union of the soul's attention with the divine word. So usually they talk about the divine word, but I'm talking in general as well, okay? This is seen as the essence of spiritual practice. The Shabad word sound current is the divine vibration, and Surat is your awareness, attention, or consciousness. And the male is the merging of the two. Your awareness fuses with the divine sound. So, Greg, the Omkar, when you recite a mantra or gurbani or any kind of mantra, okay, it's not about Guru, are you Tamil? No, I'm not Tamil. I'm Punjabi. Sorry, I'll just biggest failure in your life. Biggest failure in my life? There aren't any. My life's a success. Okay. Self-realization is the main thing in Hinduism. Love that. My friends are Punjabi. Love that. Okay. Let me which place in TN? TN, what's TN? Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu. Horizon. I do not speak Tamil. I love Tamil movies. Tamil movies are amazing. Okay, so a mantra is something like a word, like or like a couple of sentences that you repeat, and you listen to it. Okay, Om is Om on the breath, on the in breath, Om on the out breath works for me. Okay, love that. So when you recite mantra or gurbani, it's not only about repeating with the tongue, it's about listening to your own voice and vibration internally. This is why gurbani often emphasizes sunai, right? Listening. For example, in Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji dedicates entire bodies to the power of listening. Here's the subtlety. Speaking alone engages the body. Listening deeply engages the awareness. When listening and speaking become one, the mind quiets and the soul starts to rest in the sound. So, listening is the doorway to attention and consciousness. It gathers your scattered thoughts, anchors you in the present, and allows you to taste the vibration of the Nam instead of just mechanically repeating it. Okay? So, repetition with the tongue. So, there's different ways that you do mantra, okay? Sunai is deep listening. So, repetition with the tongue. Take it easy, guys, breathe. What do you think happens in the afterlife? Now, your friends, now my friends are Punjabi too, right, Priya? They are indeed. What do you think happens in the afterlife? You may come back as a human being. Anything could happen. Really. Anything is possible. In life, guys, everything is possible, okay? Anything you can think of, anything you can imagine, the craziest, wildest thing is possible. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, okay. Repetition with tongue. So at first you say the mantra, whatever mantra it is. It could be the Gayatri mantra, it could be the Mool mantra, any mantra, okay? At first you say the mantra with your tongue. The mind may wander, but the physical act begins to plant the seed. This stage purifies the body and starts training the mind. Then you start listening to what you're saying. Attention shifts from just moving the tongue to being present with the sound. So eventually, when you're repeating a mantra, the mantra is you can hear a sound, right? You're listening to yourself, and this is what you want, okay? Because listening, because the listener eventually and the speaker are no longer separate. There's a oneness that comes to being. And also you prevent yourself from listening to a different inner voices. For example, it says eventually you don't need to speak out loud. You can repeat silently in the mind. Here the listening becomes more subtle. You listen inwardly to the mantra echo in your consciousness. This calms thoughts because instead of 100 different inner voices, only the sacred sound remains. In your mind, right, when you are thinking, there is not just one voice that is speaking. There are many different voices, okay? One way you can look at this and like figure this out is sit for a minute, give yourself 2-3 minutes, and just write everything that comes out. Every thought that you're having. Oh my god, I did this, okay? And it was like, oh my god, am I even doing this correctly? Yeah, you probably not. You never do anything correctly. I'm just trying to remember. Maybe this is why I said we need subtitles. Why? Am I speaking too fast? Am I not making sense? What is it? Tell me. I'll try. You know, understanding the accent. You are like a movie, takes all my attention. Thank you. I'm glad you're paying attention. Yeah, sit quietly, write down all the thoughts you're having, and then you'll be surprised. And then give them names, give them different names, okay? Because you'll see personalities come out. One will be your 11-year-old self, one will be your 23-year-old self, if you're at that age, or, you know, whatever, like one who is experiencing this, one who is experiencing this. And then you see that we don't have a mono mind. We have many different parts of us at all times, fighting for attention. Do you think our brain is wired to do multitasking? I feel like I read somewhere that it's not. It's like a computer. It does one thing and then pays attention to another and then does that thing and then stops and then does another thing. Because your computer may seem like it's doing everything at one time, but it's not. It's just happening very, very fast. So yeah, I'm not sure. I've not looked into it in depth. What do I do for a living? Okay, so I create content. I do life coaching. I also do some ad hoc work on the side. And I thrive. What do I do for a living? What a question that we ask each other, right? I live, I breathe, I thrive, I learn. I have fun, I play. I channel my creativity. कैसे हो आप? हम अच्छे हैं. आप कैसे हो? After listening to you, feels like need to go to the divine culture. what do you mean divine culture? As in like learn more about divinity and connecting to the divine. But yeah, because that's what something we were talking about, right? About always remembering God. And then you don't, because when you remember God, there is only one sound that is happening. There aren't all these different kind of sounds that you're hearing all the time. मैं ग्वार हूँ, मेरे को इंग्लिश समझ नहीं आती, हिंदी बोल दो। हिंदी बोलो। अच्छा, ग्वार क्या होता है? हिंदी हम बोल लेते हैं, पर सबको हिंदी नहीं आती है ना यहाँ, फिर हम क्या करें? लोग ऐसे करो, मैं सबको कहती हूँ जो वो चाहते हैं अभी मैं हिंदी बोलूँ, ग्वार means uneducated. No, don't call yourself that. Just why is someone commenting so many weird things in my ear? Okay, Jai Shri Krishna. But yeah, follow me on my other account, okay? It's called, should I tag it? If you, because then I can go live on there. I know I should probably post content on there, but I just haven't got around to it. But if you follow me on there and then I can get it up to 100, then I can go live, and then your girl will be speaking Hindi from the start to the finish, okay? With slash Punjabi in there as well. समझाई? मेरा एक और अकाउंट है, प्रिया रानी का सत्संग, प्रिया रानी का सत्संग, इसको फॉलो करो। ये यूट्यूब चैनल है, प्रिया रानी का सत्संग. Maybe I should have written just search that, okay? इसको फॉलो करो. 100 सब्सक्राइबर हो जाएंगे मेरे, तब मैं लाइव जाऊंगी, okay? Promise, I promise I will go live on that. I really want to speak Punjabi or Hindi, but I want to be able to cater to everybody as well. So I live outside of India. I am godly. What did I do to deserve you? Oh, okay. Interesting. So, you know how I was talking about always remembering God? Well, in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, she says, sin is forgetting your divinity, forgetting where you're from. A lot of people don't remember their divinity. They are not connected to it. They aren't aware of God or, themselves or things like that. And that is why they suffer so much in life. It's a difficult life when you don't remember that God exists, when you don't have a connection with God. Ask me, trust me, I know. Like the way that I'm living now, that I have a connection with God compared to before, where like even though I was aware of God, like trying to form a connection with God or something like that, it's completely different. I feel the way I feel is different, and that's the thing. The most important thing is how you feel. If you are in a religion, how does it make you feel? Do you feel supported? Do you feel peace? Do you feel good? Are you worried all the time? My mom is super religious, but she would get stressed. Sorry, I just need to block someone on Instagram because this person is just, who is this? Blocked. Goodbye. Now do your comments. Okay, no. Yeah, I'm sure. I think the comments will go as well. No channel found. What? Priyanika Satsang? Let me show you. Wait, let me get it up. Priyanika Sat? Kya? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's here. This is it. Oh, you probably can't. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this instead. There we go. I'll give you time. Pin your message. Whoops. I should probably pin my message. But that is it. Priyanika Satsang. And then how do I go view to my channel? So I I have made some videos. But I probably Yeah. Yeah, I will pin the message. Thank you so much for... Who am I? I am consciousness experiencing itself. That is so fun. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Let me just pin my message. For Hindi / Punjabi content and lives, subscribe to Priya Panika. Okay, now let's pin it. Pin message. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, forgetting your divinity is a sin. That's the only sin that exists. Nothing else is a sin, okay? Because when you remember your divinity, one thing that also happens is that you have higher awareness, right? That, I think that's what a spiritual awakening alludes to. It alludes to becoming aware of your divinity. And then what happens is you become a little bit more awake. Your life just, you know, your mind just goes like that a little bit, and you're like, whoa, okay, so I'm not just like this meager human being who has come here to work and do this and then die. Like, there is more to you. There is more to life than just that. And is that not an amazing thought? An amazing way to live. You know, we should try to be more like kids, like children. Nan Bengali Ada Gujaratiya. Punjab. I'm from Punjab. Children have just come from God, okay? They just got here, right? They were just born into this world. So they haven't had time to be worn down by the things that we normally get worn down by stress, by indoctrination, by, you know, things like that. Hi. The post for Unit 21, please. Unit 21, please. What's the company called? I said Maltin. I don't. No. Okay, brilliant. Oh wait, sorry. There you are. Thank you very much. Thank you. See ya. See you. I'm back. What was I talking about? But yes, children just came from God, right? They were just born. They haven't gone through all of these things in life that have worn them down. So the way that they are being is the most natural way. It is the way that God is, right? And what are kids like? Kids are adventurous. Kids are curious. Kids are playful. Kids love to have fun. Kids are always in ecstasy, right? You know, and that's the way that we are meant to be. We are meant to be in ecstasy at all times. Ecstasy purifies our souls. There was actually something said, yeah, it's because this is kind of the notes that I was making a little bit from the podcast that I watched by Layla Martin. She said that in Christianity, right, in the Bible, I think it says that purity purifies the soul, right? It's purity, so sexual purity. But it is actually ecstasy that purifies the soul, because ecstasy allows you to reach a she skipped my comment. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. And I appreciate you. Thank you. Is it you subscribe to the other channel, right? Yeah. Regina Thomas Shaw talks about becoming children again in that book. Yes. Regina and Layla, they have a podcast together, Greg, which I think you'll love. Amazing, because look, children are in a natural state of ecstasy at all times, right? They are so happy. Have you ever watched them? When I'm sitting in the temple, right, and they're walking in, they're like running and they're like skipping and everything's so fun, and they like run and like bow down, and then they run to go get prasad, and then they're running around and they're just screaming and making noises, and it's so fun. They're so uninhibited and they're just loving life, you know. They're beyond these constraints that we have put on ourselves, that we have to be like this, like we have to be, you know, it's the whole thing in primary school. Like, what is that? What is that? But it's school. School is there to restrain you, right? It's bondage. We bondage ourselves through societal, cultural, um, you know, expectations and norms and rules. Have to be one way that we can't express our authenticity. You know, we don't let our inner child just thrive. Drink beer, forget everything dear. That's called Childlike. Interesting. How's that working out for you? I can't. Drinking beer, oh my god, I used to drink beer, right? And it just felt really heavy. I felt very bloated. And I don't know. The sound of drinking alcohol like that doesn't appeal to me anymore. It used to, trust me, it used to. Um, it, uh, any type of alcohol. I was like, I don't even care what type it is, okay? Did I read Kama Sutra? I have not read Kama Sutra yet. You know, I will. I will. I don't know. I can't. I feel like I remember downloading it and wanting to read it. But I don't know. Was it complicated? Maybe I don't know. You in limit. I don't know. Alcohol. Can you drink poison in limit? After your own spiritual awakening, do you find that you look at the world with more wonder and vibrancy again, like the child does? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I love that question. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. I think even in the way that I look, let me try and get up some pictures up, okay? Oh my God, this is such a bad picture. Do I want to share this? Oh my God. It's, oh, oh God, you guys are gonna be like, who is that? Okay. But it's okay. I was going through a lot. I had several addictions. I was depressed out of my brains. But I'm gonna show you what I used to look like, okay? कहाँ है तू कहाँ है तू आजा मेरी बाहों में it's कहाँ है तू come to mama. Oh God, okay. This is such a bad picture, guys. That was at like the height of depression and anxiety and addiction and thick eyebrows. Can you tell, like her eyes just look really dull, right? Yeah. It was a picture I had to take really quickly, so that was literally what made you depressed. What made me depressed? I had a lot of first of all, I guess. Hi. I would say the lack of knowing. Okay, I mean, the biggest thing was like I had a lot of family problems going on. I don't know whether to share, but just a lot. It was a 10-year phase of my life that was very, very difficult. Just things just didn't seem great. Obviously, addictions didn't help. Then on top of that, just not knowing how to take care of myself, knowing the importance of having good self-esteem, respecting yourself, valuing yourself, you know, things like that. You showed, you know, Greg, you should show me. You can send it to me. Thank you for sharing that. No, she's from Hogwarts. I love that. Yeah, I think it's always good to see how far you've come, you know. I sometimes sit and talk to my sister, my twin sister. I'm like, look how far we've come, man. Like, look at what we're doing right now, sitting here doing this, you know, when we used to be doing this, this, and this. And it's a journey, right? It's the hero's journey, it's the heroine's journey. And that's what I had. You know, the heroine, you start off not so wise, I guess, and then you go through lots of suffering and trouble and problems and obstacles, and then you come out a little bit wiser. I mean, I was listening, it's like a pilgrimage almost. I've made, because I was listening, I did one of the meditations on Sam Harris's app, right? And then it kind of turned it into like a short reflection that he does. And then he was talking to someone about pilgrimage and how the difference between someone who goes on a pilgrimage and then someone who is a tourist is the fact that a pilgrim, someone who goes on a pilgrim, is someone who wants to be changed by their spiritual, like in like someone who wants to be changed and have a spiritual experience and come out of it a different person and grow, right? And I feel like maybe that's what we all intended to do. Maybe we're all just pilgrims. Like our soul is a pilgrim that came into this life to experience spiritual growth and growth. Yeah, spiritual growth is pretty much all growth, right? To be changed, you know. But to be changed, you have to be one state and then allow yourself to be changed, to be open to transformation. This is why it's important to have an open mind. I can't stress that enough. Call on the name of Jesus Christ while you can. Yes, Jesus asks us to deny ourselves, to self-sacrifice, and pick up our cross and follow him, because he also sacrificed himself for us. Praise Jesus. I was in a similar place a year ago, crying over a breakup. Then I learned whatever you told me about self-esteem, self-love, and taking care about myself. I love that for you. I love that for you. And how has life changed for you? Honestly, this is one of those journeys. Ben, I appreciate what you're saying, you know. Infinite are the ways to his abode, you know. Infinite are the ways. That in one reality works. In your reality, that works for you, right? It's just not the path that I am choosing to take, I guess. Ria, yeah. Oh, Priya has another channel on manifesting, but why does she look and sound slightly different? What is this wizardry? Took me a moment to realize you have a twin sister. You know how I've had another person message me and say, oh my god, someone's created an account and they like mimicking you or something like that. And then I said, oh, please, can you send it to me? And then they sent me Ria's account and I was like, oh, that's just my twin sister. We kind of do the same thing, you know. Yeah, I'm lucky, I'm grateful that we get to share that. We both came up with our spiritual journey in that way. We were both going through very similar things, and I had someone to share that with, you know. I had someone to speak to about the things I was learning, to someone to believe me. I think sometimes when you get onto this path and you have these realizations and you're by yourself, I don't know about you, Greg, or like anybody else, how it felt. Maybe it's really difficult. I know some people have shared with me that it's difficult to feel validated by the people around you, or like have someone who agrees with you, you know, and shares the same kind of vibe and stuff like that. Like, for example, right here, we're all sharing similar ideas, right? And it feels good to be sharing and like agreeing on things. Not everybody has access to that, so I'm very aware of how lucky I am. That's so beautiful that you get to share that experience with her. Yeah, I guess maybe there's a reason why we decided to be twins and take this experience together, right? Jesus Christ himself said he is the way, the truth, and life. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. Are you aware God gave us free will, and at the end of the day he will respect the decisions that we make? I agree. You know, Ben, are you aware of like the whole notion of that you can also become Christ-like, that Jesus was showing you what is possible for you, that he wasn't an outlier, he's just telling you that you can do it too. Yes, I have a twin sister. Shall I show you guys a photo? Okay, let me see. Let me see where our pictures are. Let's see if you can guess who's who. Kaha hai tu, Ria? Okay. Okay. So, can you guess who's who? Let me know. Am I in the green or am I in the black? Oh. Yes, through the Holy Spirit, He left us. And what is the Holy Spirit? But yeah, that's my twin sister. So we went through this experience together. One thing I found was that one thing I realized was that with a twin, you know, it's a different dynamic that you have. You're because you have a twin sister, so you grow up in a different way than a person who doesn't have that, right? Like a normal person, I could say, because I would always get this question of do you guys have the same thoughts? What other questions do we get asked? Can you feel each other's pain? They would kind of treat you like you're one unit. You know, and then I think what happened was there was a lot of enmeshment that happened. And I feel like it's just this year that I've kind of learned to become my own person and to become independent and not so I was the one with the bag. I was not. I was the one in the green actually. Shall I show you again? Where is it? Look. Look again. Sorry, that's my other sister. She probably doesn't want to be on the internet. Where is she? She's at home right now. Bye, Ben. I am not in Canada, no. But yeah, there's you know, there's people treat you, you're the same person. And you, Ben, thank you so much for being present and sharing your thoughts and your love. Yeah. I think I'm gonna call it a day, guys. I'm gonna go and you Priya and she's Ria. Yes, but you spell Ria with an R-I-A. You guys should follow her TikTok account. Yeah, see, the Holy Spirit is the feminine aspect of God, also referred to as Barbello in the earlier versions of the Bible, later removed by man. Where did I study English? I live in England, so I studied English in England. Yeah, let me show you her TikTok account, and then you can follow her because she... Oh, oh my God. Speak of the devil, there she is. TikTok is banned in India. Oh no. She does have a YouTube account, but she hasn't posted any videos. She just posts her shorts on there. So let me just show you. Let me get her. Do I even follow her YouTube account? I don't know. I am Ria Rani. I am... Okay, yes. This is her YouTube account. Oh, wait. Let me show you this way. You need a VPN now. Yeah, I get a VPN. There we go. That is her account. That is her. And if you follow her, maybe she'll be more encouraged to post on here. Yeah. Give me a click. Boom. There she is. Oops. Thank you, Priya. I'll send you my thoughts on my book. Okay, perfect. Great. Oh, did I do so? Oops. Okay, sorry. Any secret? No. Ronnie was my mother's maiden name, and I just didn't want to share my personal surname. But thank you so much. Take care, guys. Love you. Thank you for being here. Bye.